to Rewind Reports.
Thank you for letting us have an absence last week where Raven was at jury duty.
It is very important here at Rewind Reports that we participate in our civic duties for the judicial system.
And I was in jail. But now it is time to unwind with Rewind.
Our first story.
Reverend Gabriel Salguero calls on Congress to protect families and the freedom to worship.
Reverend Gabriel Salguero, a pastor and faith leader speaking on behalf of immigrant families and communities of faith across the United States, urged Congress in a recent CBS interview to protect the freedom to worship and pass humane immigration reform.
Across the country, pastors are seeing empty seats in their pews and choirs, families too afraid to gather for worship because of the threat of detention and deportation.
Reverend Gabriel's message is clear. Indiscriminate immigration enforcement is not only breaking families apart, it is threatening the sacred right to worship freely.
I am perplexed.
Okay.
Because it's like the same people who are in these churches doing "Our God is an awesome God, He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God," are the same ones in our comments when we post our clips for Rewind Reports saying, "I voted for this and I'm happy this is happening." So do you want people in your church worshiping or not? And if you are in the church worshiping, do you support deportation of people who have a place in the house of God?
It is already crazy that we're living in a world where you could be out in public and watch people get assaulted and harassed. Mm-hmm. How much crazier is that you could be sitting in a church pew on a Sunday and ICE break into your church and start removing people? And that is actually insane. Also, aren't churches like deemed like sanctuaries? Not like, to be funny,
I'll be a sanctuary.
Yeah, that used to be my song.
I don't.
Pure and holy.
How does it start?
Tried and true. Lord, prepare me
to be a sanctuary. Oh, we have different versions.
Pure and holy. How yours go?
Lord, prepare me.
Oh, y'all
I'll be a sanctuary.
Oh, that's just the harmony, babe.
What country song does that sound like? Da na 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 na. Anyways, people who are getting swept up in church and ICE.
I know it is inappropriate. Everyone should have a place to worship. And that's everybody being Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Jewishism.
Judaism. Jewish people.
I said that, you said something was wrong.
I was talking about Judaism.
All of our brothers and sisters who worship, whether it be at our churches or not, synagogues, that's what it is.
Come on, synagogues.
It should not be a place where people are in fear to go and worship. That's like one thing that really sets us apart from other countries is the freedom to worship as we please and like do it in a way like that we see fit. And when we start tap dancing on our inalienable rights, it starts to get a little tricky.
But my thing is too, there's a lot of churches already who on the 4th of July love to have like an American service. So at what point is the intersectionality of being a U.S. citizen and being a church-going, for this lack of a better term, Christian, and people are getting swept up and pulled out of these pews and you're just sitting there?
Well, also, Jesus isn't confined by borders. So anytime you're in the house...
A lot of you white girls would know that because y'all like to go to Honduras and take photos.
Okay. I think what people have to realize, Jesus is not confined by borders. And when you're in the house of the Lord or the house of whoever you worship, that is a sacred place. And it doesn't matter whether you're undocumented or here on a visa child or E95 papers, whatever they call. Like, that should be a place that is untouchable by the government, right? Isn't that the whole thing?
Separation of church and state.
That's what I had thought. I knew it was written down somewhere.
Speak of the truth.
But shout out to Reverend Salguero for fighting the good fight.
Let's move on.
Farmers and communities are being directly impacted by the government shutdown.
Farmers are already stretched thin by Trump's tariffs, volatile markets, and rising input costs. The government shutdown is making matters worse, delaying critical USDA services, freezing farm loans, and putting promised financial aid on hold.
This week, Trump also canceled $94 million in food aid, cutting off critical support for communities already struggling to put food on the table. This comes at a critical moment as farmers must make decisions about funding next year's planting season, with each day of uncertainty adding to their mounting pressure and concern. I feel like Trump is giving the farmers hell.
He really is, and they were really going for him
They
over in those flyover states.
He is giving them hell. I'm cutting funding. See what I had heard. The USDA government run do the loans for farmers to do farmly stuff. And they done furloughed a bunch of folk.
Furlough, that's like laid off.
Yeah, it's like you not lay off. You just don't come back to work until they get their money.
So once again, in an effort to not release the Epstein files, more people are suffering, so one person that y'all really seem to like doesn't have to go anywhere.
I feel for the farmers. I didn't vote the same way as a lot of the farmers, respectfully. They don't deserve this.
They don't deserve this. But a lot of people would say you get what you voted for.
And I agree to that in some extent, but it is sad as Americans that you can't put your faith in the person that you put your vote behind. No. Because he has completely left them out to dry.
But also, we're doing a lot of like overreach and doing things like this. I mean, we've talked about it in our other news segments. Already, but there's a gross overreach of power, and I just don't understand why.
Okay, overreach of power.
Oh, come on, overreach of power. It's like me going for another bag of Chex Mix. I'm telling you what.
I can't eat that. It has peanuts.
And the other thing is Trump has canceled $94 million in food aid. So once again, if we're going for Christian value, party, Republican, yay, all that kind of stuff, feed the hungry, take care of the widow, take care of the orphan, and you are doing none of those because you're trying to get your bottom dollar because in an effort to have a Christian nation, we're doing the most unchristian things.
That's another thing. I need the government to open back up because I like to go places. I will say shout out to everybody who work at LAX and BNA.
Hey.
Because I got, my flight was up in the air. TSA wasn't that bad. Well, LAX coming home was a little rough. I ain't gonna hold you. But otherwise, the flight was up in the air. We was up there, and we came back down. Everybody was living. It was a lovely experience. And they did not even have an attitude. If I were working and not getting paid, I would have an attitude.
Yeah.
And they were so pleasant. So big ups.
I have a flight in a couple days, and I'm hoping the government opens back up, but I don't know.
You'll be fine. It really was fine.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
This past weekend, huge crowds marched in major cities and smaller gatherings were held across the country for No Kings protest against President Donald Trump's administration.
Organizers said there were nearly 7 million people at more than 2,700 events in all 50 states, which police said were mostly peaceful, with many large cities reporting no protest-related incidents or arrests.
Demonstrators voiced outrage at a range of Trump's policies, but some key themes took center stage, including perceived threats to democracy, the administration's ICE raids, and troop deployments in U.S. cities, and cuts to federal programs, especially healthcare. Okay, so I was in LA over the weekend.
Did you hit up the No Kings protest?
I did not.
Okay.
But I did see a lot of people protesting. The signs were great. It looked like a great turnout. There were like in different ones in all different parts of LA.
Yeah.
And it looked like people across the country really did turn out. Listen, it felt more like a demonstration than a protest, maybe. I know in some places there were even like you had to like sign up to go and stuff like that. But I feel like good for them. And it was also a nice thing like the variety of people, different ages, like kids were there. It all seemed very good.
I love the idea of No Kings protest happening, and you see just how many people believe and feel the same way you do, because in an echo chamber that we see online, in news, in everyday life, you feel sometimes like you are alone, or sometimes like you are stronger than you appear, and you realize you're not. But I will say at the same time, to be vulnerable on the news,
with your breasts out.
Yes, to be vulnerable on the news. I hope what we're doing with No Kings is beneficial.
Protesting is as American as baseball, you know? Like, this is so much, like, woven into the fabric of who we are. I think the point of protest is to send a message to this administration of what we will and won't tolerate. And I'm really proud of all the people who got out there and used their voice for what they believe in, and big ups to y'all.
I am very proud of the people who went. I had to work personally, so I was not able to go. But my question goes back to, is No Kings more of a demonstration? Because is there something specific we are protesting, or is protesting his administration by all showing up, is that the protest in itself?
I think so. I think that's how people are looking at it. And it's like protesting the administration, saying that like you can't overstep these boundaries and we don't do kings up in here. Queens only.
That just shows there's a difference between demonstration, protest, and boycott, and sometimes all three come together. And that's how we had the Birmingham bus boycott, the Montgomery bus boycott. She's from Birmingham. Moving on along, our final story. Turning Point USA has announced an alternative Super Bowl halftime show because heaven forbid if they don't like the regular halftime show, they can't just turn it off.
Conservative advocacy group Turning Point USA has announced counter-program halftime show that will be held during next year's official Super Bowl halftime show. The nonprofit revealed this week that its counter-program show would run opposite the NFL Super Bowl halftime show at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California on February 8th and will be called the All-American Halftime Show.
That was kind of given. 3 people were hurt last night in the Bronx during a fire that happened in the Bronx because of a fire. Once again, ABC News, y'all are really getting that word counted. Look at that. That's dumb. That is so dumb, for real.
And also, who they gonna get?
Let's be real. They're probably hitting up Kid Rock, Carrie Underwood. Probably Nate Smith, and then those other people who do saddle up my horse and I ride into the city.
Anyway, it's gonna be trash.
Literally.
I'm not gonna watch it. Also, like you said, if you don't want to watch it, baby, turn it off.
Turn it off. Turn it off. Go get some wings. Go get some cucumber slices and ranch.
But also, like, if y'all want to have y'all little mayonnaise concert, go right on ahead.
Go right on ahead, because guess what? I will be watching Bad Bunny.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, heck yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, because we're on the news.
Correct.
That was my other thing, too, is once again, I'm going to go back even to the first topic we talked about in an effort to have something, more Christian and all-American. First of all, white people up there does not make it more American.
You better say it.
Like,
and make it plain.
Bad Bunny is an American citizen.
Correct.
And he also grew up Catholic.
Correct.
So if we're talking about American and Christian, baby, he fits the bill.
He fit the description.
But y'all didn't like him in that little Vogue cover in a dress.
He looked great.
But guess what? Y'all will go ahead and buy all those tickets for Harry Styles, even though he did the same thing.
He also looked great.
I also sounded like my mother just now, taking out the S.
Harry Styles.
Just say Harry Styles, Britney Spears.
Thank you so much for coming with us to Rewind Reports at night, Blake.
And in other news, I got tickets to the Kelly Clarkson show next week.
And I look like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Thank you so much for watching this.
Come on, get up. Thank you so much for watching this installment of Rewind Reports.
Yeah, as you know, you are the one who truly keeps the world spinning.
Good evening.
No.
I'm Raven.
You starting over?
Wait, what do we say at the end?
Have a good night. Have a good day. Enjoy your life. Good evening. That sounded like Miss Congeniality. When you say, I think I gotta go, aloha, did they just start all over?
Have a good evening.